everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I have a tip for you today on how to sew on a button using your sewing machine. A lot of us put on mending aside. We just leave it aside because we're going to do it sometime, and I figured this is as good a time as any to do it, and I wanted to show you some tips and tricks about how to get that mending bucket, just work through that. And a lot of times those buttons pop off, and so here is a really quick way to do it on the sewing machine. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to use these big buttons so you can see better. I'm also going to use a bright piece of fabric so it shows up better. And I'm just going to fold this in half because that's what we would have if we were sewing a button back on a shirt. We would have two thicknesses of fabric. Also, you need a sewing machine that does a zigzag. So my regular piecing machine does not work for this because it only straight stitches, but you need a machine that does a zigzag. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn my machine to a zigzag. And then what I'm going to do is about 3.5 or 4.0 stitch width is the width of these buttons apart. That's how wide that is. But you want to always try that because a needle will break a button in half. So you have to try it first, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, what makes this trick work is that we're going to set, zigzag is generally a forward motion, and we don't want it to go forward. We want it to go back and forth without going forward. So I'm going to change the length to 0. So I'm going to click this here until it goes right down to 0, or as low as you can get it. I do have a machine where it only goes to like 0.2 or something like that. And so I'm going to get over here in front of my machine so I can show you better. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lift my, my needle up to the highest, and I'm going to pop off my presser foot. So now I just have this thing right here. This is what all the other presser foot attaches to, and most of you are going to be able to do that with your sewing machine. So you're going to lower your shank down onto the button, and then you want to hand crank it to see if your needle is going in the right place. And mine is a little bit narrow, so it's a good thing that I check that by hand. And sometimes you just want to readjust your button a little bit. And just make sure that it'll go back and forth into those holes. When you see that it does and you're clear, you just press on that presser foot like this. And you've sewn on a button. Look at this. How cool is this? So take a look here. We've sewn on a button. We've sewn it on. You just trim those threads and your button is sewn on. So that's my tip for that. And I hope that you'll be able to get through your mending basket and sew all your buttons on.